Hello, friends. My name is Jonah Jackson, and I'm part of the Quest Company, an actual play RPG podcast. We started our show with the Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and we've grown and expanded to explore all sorts of other games and genres.
That's right. We've been in worlds of classic dark fantasy riddled with intrigue.
And dick jokes.
Tabitha, do we really need to bring up dick jokes in the promo?
Lighten up, Frank.
We've also explored the outer reaches of the galaxy.
You're darn tootin'. Humans and robots fighting side by side for the good of...
JE551E, what is good?
Well, that's a complicated question, Bull.
We have brought dignity and sophistication to the world of podcasting.
He meant to say muscles and explosions and testosterones.
Hell yes, my dude.
We've had some very spooky times.
Right, and sometimes we don't even know what's going on, but we just sort of roll with it.
We've had a lot of wild adventures together, and there's even more in store. If you want to join the fun, you can find the Quest Company wherever you get your podcasts and at questcompanypodcast.com.
It's normal and natural.
Jaw! Hashtag pull-out game strong.
Hello, friends, and happy Thanksgiving. We hope you all are having a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season. All of us here at the Quest Company are so thankful for you listeners, old and new. If you're looking for something new to listen to over the holidays, we would love for you to check out our big old backlog of side quests, some ongoing and others completed. We are constantly switching between all sorts of different campaigns, and we know from that first promo we played that it can seem like there's a lot of content for you to sort through. So we're here today to break it down so you can figure out what adventure you want to join us on next. Let's start with what we've got going on right now.
What wilt thou do when thou art free? An enslaved pit gladiator breaks her chains. A retired adventurer picks up his axe. Their faceless employer has a simple request, one that will carry them through the deepest darkness and into the ruins of an empire. Find the lost city of Usar and bury its rightful king. Bound. Presented by the Quest Company. Available at questcompanypodcast.com or wherever you find your podcasts.
Now, maybe all that violence and gore isn't for you. Or maybe it is, but you're in the mood for something more fun and lighthearted and weird. Very weird. Villagers may just scratch that very specific itch. We are playing an Animal Crossing hack of lasers and feelings, and it has gone on way longer than this game system was prepared for. The mayor is missing. The town is in chaos. And what's that stank? Chad and Pat are on the case in Villagers, the only Animal Crossing psychopolitical Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy theory dating simulator RPG. So come on down to South Bend, Indiana, where the most important thing is community. Villagers. Available at questcompanypodcast.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Speaking of Nintendo properties, how about a Pokemon adventure? Kanoko Origins is a spin-off of Postcards from Pearl, our main series over on Quest Company Jr., and it uses the Pokemon 5e system. Set 1,000 years before the events of Postcards from Pearl, this isn't your typical Pokemon game. "1,000 years ago, the Kanoko region was much different than the one we know today. Long before the establishment of the Pokemon League and gyms, before there were thriving Pokemon centers and Pokemarts in every town, before child trainers roamed the land totally unsupervised, there were people, and there were Pokemon. Without the technology and resources of today, anyone who claimed that they wished to be a Pokemon master would have been thought of as arrogant, delusional, or even suicidal. While many people might have relied on a Pokemon companion or two for work purposes, it would be out of the question for an average person to have the skill to fully evolve a Pokemon, much less the time or resources. More mouths to feed, more space needed for these creatures to live, and the knowledge that if that Pokemon ever turned on you, the odds were not in your favor. And while small domestic Pokemon may have had a certain charm for some, many people could never shake the knowledge of the truly horrific creatures in the wild. Traveling merchants, foolhardy adventurers, and sunken-eyed nomads would regale townspeople with tales of giant serpents formed of stone, massive, gluttonous beasts that devoured everything in their path, dragons with the power to burn down forest, abominable creatures that lurked in the deep waters waiting to destroy anything that dared enter their territory. The list goes on. But the tides turned with the rise of the Keepers. Thought by many to be mad, these wardens of the wilderness sought to work alongside Pokemon and utilize their full potential, pushing the limits of what most thought possible and what any thought reasonable. With their enchanters, healers, artificers, herbalists, battle masters, the Keepers pioneered the use of Pokeballs, potions, all of the items that we use today, and ushered in a new era of peace and prosperity between people and Pokemon in the Kanoko region. However, that road to peace was a long one, and as we look back on our history and how the Kanoko region became what it is today, we must take a closer look at two key figures from the past. Virgil and Jaques, who began their adventures together as initiates of the Keepers. In the mood for treasure hunting and intrigue? Fortuna sounds right up your alley. Join us as we try out the Vault system, a new Powered by the Apocalypse game created by Joe Lightus and myself.
We're in Monaco. Gambling, drinking, cigars, jazz music. The world's global elite come together for a boozy night in Monaco. The streets are ablaze, as they are most evenings, as obscenely ornate gas lamps, glowing boutique storefronts, and painfully gorgeous sports cars scatter light across the wet cobblestones. The sky above is inky black. The light cast by casinos, resorts, and luxury yachts reaches into the heavens like cream into the darkest espresso. In one of these casinos lies your target. An auction in the ballroom of the Casino Colombe. Here, the world's richest gather to gamble, smoke cigars, and just generally chill out. Welcome to Vault. Wrong name.
well, Vault is the game. Fortuna. Available at questcompanypodcast.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Maybe you need something spooky, but maybe you also love to party. Don't worry, we've got you covered. In View and View Do, you could join a vampire tour guide and a former child star on a quest to get their pilot picked up as we play Monster of the Week. Welcome, party people, to Father Spooky's Creepy Emporium official ghostly and phantasmal tourism walking tour. My name is Rodolphe Baptiste, and I shall be escorting you through the deepest, lowest reaches. Oh, yes, upon the sidewalks there. Lowest, most haunted reaches of New Orleans. Oh, watch out for the puke. Of New Orleans! Wow, busy night, is it not? Please do not mind the man with the Survivor Man camera harness setup. Simply pretend he is not here. Put on your spookiest flat bill hats and tank tops and grab your ghastliest alcoholic beverages and follow me, party people. The night is young. The Quest Company presents View, a haunted jaunt through New Orleans. Find it at questcompanypodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're looking for some straight up spooky, check out our first ever side quest, New Ridge. There's something strange happening in the backwoods of 1970s Oregon, and in this supernatural mystery thriller, we played not quite Monster of the Week to try and get to the bottom of it.
The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. Out here in the Siskiyou National Forest, time slips away between the pines and maples. Perhaps time itself gets lost wandering in the trails. A missing sister, faces in the fog, a curl of smoke off Magus Lake. To find May, Wendell grasped the unknown. To protect his closest friend, Colt risked life, limb, and the fragile shell of sanity. The Quest Company presents New Ridge, available at questcompanypodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did somebody say space western? Well, yeehaw! Let's head on out to Gideon's Rest for Manifest, our Uncharted Worlds campaign.
Out among the stars there is providence. There is work. There is meaning. There is dignity. Out on the spurs of Orion, carve your place. On, pioneers. Destiny awaits. PR bullshit.
Back to more spooky business. Things are not all as they seem in Circle, a Dungeons & Dragons adventure. Weaver and Lazarus have done it all. Dueled dragons, jacked up giants, grappled with good and evil, even walked through dreams like a walk in the park. But when these level 20 Dungeons & Dragons heroes stumble into a level 1 adventure on a routine lich removal job, what they find changes everything. And everyone. Forever. The Quest Company presents Circle. Oh snap! It's time for Wizards, baby! Let's travel to Terry Pratchett's Discworld universe in our Dungeon World campaign, Portents!
Behold, great Atuin, mighty sky turtle, whose thousand-mile bulk swims through the star-speckled pitch of interstellar space. Upon its shell, pitted with meteors and dusted with firmament, yea, upon great Atuin's back balance the 4 great elephants, and yea, upon their massive shoulders doth rest the Discworld. Behold the Discworld, continents choked with forests, girdled with mountains, dotted with cities, pimpled with pubs, community theaters, and tax agencies, all ringed with a deep blue ocean that spills over the edge of the disc and into space. Behold the mountain Cori Celesti, where it is said the gods themselves doth hang out. Behold the twin city of Ankh-Morpork, Megatropolis, whose crazed, jumbled-up neighborhoods would send even the most hardened city planner into hysterics. Within the city's bulk, the unseen university, the greatest concentration of wizards and wizardly knowledge e'er assembled.
We've done a lot of one-offs and other short shenanigans here at the Quest Company. Things like the Xanathar Files, Quest Company Saves Christmas, Heaven Valley Heroes, We Few, and Bearquake.
In the year 1987, a group of action movie star friends came together to form their own production company. They called it The Power. Their mission? To bring action-packed flicks filled with more testosterone, explosions, and pure muscle than had ever before been recorded on film. Their first blockbuster feature? Bearquake, which is exactly what it sounds like. Directed by Dominic Chevalier, starring Charlton Brosnan, Dick Harrison, and Dutch the Hostel Macho. This film is better than Gone with the Wind. Check it out at questcompanypodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm gonna make flexing noises now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Power.
Now, most all of the things that I've mentioned so far are for more mature audiences, but if you're looking for something to listen to with the whole family, check out our other podcast feed, Quest Company Jr.
Hello, friends. My name is Jonah Jackson. I'm the Game Master on Quest Company Jr., an actual play RPG podcast that's fun for the whole family. You can join us for fun adventures in our series, Guardians of Greenwood and Postcards from Pearl.
Are you talking about me?
Oh, hey, Pearl. Yeah, I was just about to tell him all about you.
I want to help. My name is Pearl. I'm 10 years old. I'm a super cool Pokemon trainer. My best friend is a seal named Sealy.
Or?
I'm exploring the Kanoko region to become the very best, like no one ever was.
Oh, yeah, Kanoko is a brand new region.
I'm making a lot of new friends, and I'm trying to take down Team Nasty.
Well, those guys are no good.
Yeah, they steal Pokemon and turn them into shadow Pokemon. What the heck?
Well, if there's anyone who can stop them.
It's a 10-year-old who was raised on a cruise ship.
Or.
Okay, Sealy and I are gonna go train. See you later.
Bye, Pearl. If you want to follow Pearl's adventures, check out Quest Company Jr. wherever you get your podcasts. Quest Company Jr. Fun at the table, fun for the family.
Thank you so much for listening, and we hope that if you're someone who's recently become a fan of the podcast, this sparks your interest in something that you haven't heard yet. And if you've been with us for a long time, thank you. We hope this reminds you of the good times we've had along the way, or points you towards something that you might have missed. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Quest Company. If you want to connect with other fans, join our Discord. And if you want to support the podcast, please make sure to leave us rating and reviews, and maybe even consider joining our Patreon and becoming a subscriber. Your monthly pledge goes a long way in us being able to keep on telling awesome stories. For any of the podcast episodes or for any more of that information, you can check out questcompanypodcast.com. And with that, I think I've talked enough. Thank you for listening, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at the Quest Company.